Do you think George Kittle would ever haze any other player to come onto the San Francisco 49ers? You're like, hey, you're a rookie. You just got drafted by the 49ers. Everything's going to be fine, right? Hazing has kind of left the NFL. Doesn't really exist anymore, right? No one's going to haze you, right? Wrong. You enter a locker room with George Kittle. Oh, you better be prepared for a little bit of hazing. Now, like I kind of just talked about, hazing is much different today than what it was in the past. It's a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more, I think, tolerable, I guess is a way to put it. But when Brock Purdy was drafted, the San Francisco 49ers as Mr. Irrelevant, obviously he had to be welcomed by tight end George Kittle. You got a new offensive player. George Kittle is very involved in the 49ers culture and impact to the personal side of football inside that locker room. So why wouldn't he? It also helps that George Kittle went to Iowa and the fact that Brock Purdy went to Iowa State. Take a listen as George Kittle joins the Dan Patrick Show, and you get a little bit of insight into what it's like to be hazed by George Kittle. You also get to hear George Kittle speak on Christian McCaffrey and him getting paid and what that looks like for the San Francisco 49ers. And of course, you also get to hear at least George Kittle's thoughts on the situation going on with Brandon Aiyuk. Take a listen right here.
Did you guys haze Brock Purdy?
I did on the first day, yeah.
What'd you do?
I put an Iowa football shirt in his locker. It was his first day. He pulled it out. He turned around, looked right at me, and he goes, "What's this doing in my locker?" I said, I have no idea, man. The EQ guys here are crazy.
So the equipment guys, you blame them, huh?
Well, only for stuff like that. But that was a pretty obvious one on me.
Okay, but at what point do you say, I don't know, is hazing still go on to the degree it used to back in the 60s or 70s?
I mean, I wasn't there for it. I've heard some stories, but no, absolutely not. The most that, I like to do is I just like to have a conversation with the guy just to see what, kind of like little talk, if I can say that, but it's just like, how are you going to respond to me? And like, are you going to be like nervous? And is that how like our relationship is going to go? Or are you going to be able to like just throw me some zingers right back at me? And I've enjoyed that. That's one of the reasons I like Brock so much, because he was just throwing zingers right back at me. I was like, we're going to be great friends.
McCaffrey gets his contract extended. When you guys get, your contracts upgraded or extended, you take people out to dinner? Like how does McCaffrey do anything for you guys?
Well, he got the entire offense PXG golf clubs for Christmas. So I think he's doing all right in that regard. They're great clubs. Besides that, no, but he'll take care of me by probably having another 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns.
Are you in the wedding?
I'm not in the wedding, but I'm going to the wedding, so I'm excited about that up in Rhode Island. Should be a good time. Got a good group of guys going up there.
Okay. Have you had the bachelor party yet?
I don't know if he's actually really doing a bachelor party. He's a busy dude that's kind of all over the place. He's got like his routine down to the things that he wants to do. It's more of just like an extended weekend where, you'd hang out at his house and go golfing.
That's not. What are we doing here? That's soft.
You know what, Dan? Christian's he is an elite human being who likes to do things his way. And I'm not going to argue with him. I know he's going to have a good time, and we'll celebrate something on maybe after a Thursday night game. Who knows?
He's the Niners tight end, five-time Pro Bowler, George Kittle, joining us on the program. When you see Travis Kelce, does he rub it in? Does he mention anything? Does he say something about the Super Bowl?
No. Travis and me are good friends. I never gotten any type of animosity from Travis. It's been nothing but a great friend, great sportsmanship.
He didn't get...
No.
Wow.
Oh, what a nice guy, right? It's crazy.
Okay, if it was reversed and you had won the Super Bowl and you saw Kelce.
No, I'd be probably the exact same.
Okay.
I'm not much of a talker, Dan.
Okay.
I'm all for good vibes and just positive vibes out there. Tight ends, man, we're just nice people.
You look like you belong in Southern California.
Oh, I know. the long hair is not much. It doesn't like make sense for my Iowa roots, does it?
Well, you could have been in the movie Point Break.
Ooh, I was more of a fast time at Ridgemont High.
Well, you could be a Spicoli. I could see.
Exactly.
All right, I'll give you a mulligan. What kind of strategy would you change in the Super Bowl?
Oh, what kind of strategy? That's a good question. I haven't been asked. I need a mulligan for my golf game right now. But besides that, mulligan. How many turnovers we have? Just one.
Yeah, I think
if we could pull off that turnover, I think that's a different.
But when you look back on that turnover, it's right in front of you.
Behind me, but yes.
Behind, okay. Near you.
But yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, ball bounced on the ground, something behind me I can't see. Super unfortunate.
Yeah. But you weren't targeted that much. Like, can you go into the huddle and say, hey, what about me?
To an extent. You know, it's if you like watch every single game this entire year, like there's games where I had 15 targets and there's a game I had 1 target. And it's just like that's just kind of where our offense goes. And you know why I would fully love, 5 to 8 targets a game. You know, there's just games that's not going to happen. And so I just try to contribute in other ways. Like I have my entire career. And so yes, there's times that, you're sitting there like, all right, come on now. It's time to throw me the ball a little bit. But I think overall, we've won a lot of games the way that, our offense is going to be going. And so I'm not going to complain too much, but it is hey, I run routes pretty well too sometimes. So.
Do you know what's going on with your teammates, with Aiyuk, with his situation? Like, how much do you stay in touch or follow this?
In all honesty, this is how I have treated all my teammates that go through contract negotiations is I shoot them a text. I'm like, hey, man, if there's anything you want to talk about, anything I can help you with, please hit me up. If not, I'll see you when I see you, which, we're going to figure it out at some point. The less I know, the better. I don't like it when people ask me, hey, have you talked to Aiyuk? Have you talked to Aiyuk? I'm like, he's doing his thing. He's going to be just fine. And, whatever happens there, I'm happy for him.
First of all, I don't expect anything less from George Kittle. I would actually expect more than just an Iowa shirt in the locker. But, I'd almost expect, George to go full out and just replace everything. Like find like his old Iowa cleats, maybe just take everything out of the locker that is 49ers related, 49ers helmet, 49ers cleats, or like red and gold cleats and gloves, and just swipe everything out with yellow and black Iowa colors. I think that would be hilarious. Obviously, that would take a lot of work, but the shirt works. I like it. And, I love what George says. He's like, yeah, I try to test out the waters a little bit, like try to see, like, can we talk a little crap back and forth, and are they going to take it? And he said Brock was absolutely on point, spitting it right back at George, and they've developed quite the relationship. So that's really cool to see. And on top of that, obviously, George is very happy about Christian McCaffrey getting the big time payday and what that's going to look like for the 49ers for time to come. And also, too, the Brandon Aiyuk situation. I think George took the right approach to it, not really saying a whole lot. And, it's really hard to comment on that situation from a player's perspective. Like, George has been in contract negotiations before. He's had players go through contract negotiations before. The last thing you want to do is give any inside information to what's going on to the media. So George took the right approach and just said, I let him know that I'm here for him. If he needs anything, he can hit me up. Other than that, I'm not going to speak on it. But George is always great. Getting ready for Tight End U. That's going to be coming up here, I think, at the end of the month. But love to hear from George. Love to hear that him and Brock, again, have been able to build a connection since the first day, starting with George Kittle putting an Iowa shirt in his locker. What did you guys think about all this? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.